If you focus on this, I promise you it'll make cash flow easier and cash generation easier within your business. I want to share with you the fastest way to grow the cash flow within your business. And I'm not talking about you putting in $100,000 worth of your own money or borrowing money from the bank. The strategy is increasing the gap between your gross profit percentage and your working capital percentage. So to influence an outcome, I always say you firstly need to understand what the outcome is. Let's look at each of those elements. Gross profit percentage is our gross profit dollars divided by our revenue dollars, and gross profit being our direct costs of production taken away from our revenue. So if our revenue is $100,000, our cost of production is $50,000, that leaves us a gross profit of $50,000. You guessed it, our gross profit percentage is 50% in this scenario. Which, as a side note, if you've got a gross profit of 50%, awesome, you're in the absolute top echelon with that number. Working capital percentage is looking at debtors plus our stock plus our work in progress minus our creditors. That is our working capital. And then looking at that relative to our annualized revenue. And that will give you a percentage to work out what your working capital is. If you want to increase that cash flow, it's now a matter of working out how to increase the gap between those two numbers, which we're going to explore now. Now, a point before we get started though, is we've got a more in-depth video series around working capital management. But in this video, we just want to give you a sneak peek preview for what are the core elements to release cash into your business. Now we've understood gross profit percentage and working capital percentage, let's look at each of those elements and what influences those calculations so we can change our business behaviors accordingly. Step one with our gross profit percentage, the goal is to increase our gross profit percentage. To do that, there's the revenue element and the cost element. From a revenue side of things, there's two things we can do. The first one is to sell more, but not increase the dollar value of our working capital. That is bordering on impossible to do, because what you're asking of your business is to produce more output, but expect the same amount of dollars outstanding in debtors and the same amount of dollars of stock and work in progress. That is bordering on impossible. But statistically, yes, if you increase your revenue and keep your working capital dollar value the same, this will help you improve. But practically, that is bordering on impossible. The other element, or the second element of revenue, is have more profitable offerings. So selling the exact same quantity, i.e. the exact same revenue, but increase the gross profit. If you've got product A and product B, and product A has a 25% GP and product B has 33% GP, we'll sell more of the product B. That's not a simple process, but if you're aware of that information, that is going to help you increase that gross profit percentage. Let's look at the direct cost element. The first is reduce the cost of production. So maintain quality at the same level it is now, but find a way to produce the exact same amount of revenue with a lower cost base. If that's through sourcing product better, if that's through more efficient labor or a cheaper way of doing things while maintaining the integrity of the quality of the product, then that is a way to increase that GP percentage. The other way is similar to the gross profit in increasing our revenue by selling more profitable offerings. Just by virtue of having a greater percentage of our sales from a higher percentage of gross profit is gonna, as a result, reduce our direct costs of business. So they're the two elements, looking at revenue increasing and also costs reducing to improve our gross profit percentage. Now let's look at the working capital percentage side of things. And we're going to look at this in a very simplistic way because we've got that more in-depth course around working capital management. The first one with our debtors, find the strategies to get paid by people quicker. With our stock, find a way to hold stock for a shorter period of time. With work in progress, find a way to convert that work into an invoice as quickly as possible. So reducing all those values down because they're all assets, and increasing our creditors. And this does not mean stretching out your creditors. It means, are we getting the best possible terms from all of our suppliers that we're utilizing? And the mathematics of that, debtors plus stock plus work in progress minus creditors, if we can make that number larger, it reduces our working capital percentage as well. Those strategies alone take a lot of effort and a lot of hard work. And as I said, we've got all those tools and tricks ready for you in other videos, which we'll have available for you. But at the same time, as a quick capsule of what you need to do to release more cash in your business, it's get that GP up and your working capital down, and spread the gap between those two numbers, with GP percentage being the higher of the two.